The Spiritual Intelligence IES proposal regarding the SIMBRE concept includes A. In the example of a PC and the mind, the quality of the desktop made up by the processor, its processing speed, its respective root programming BIOS within the processor. This quality would be equivalent in the human spirit to the evolutionary quality of the all traditional basic structures of consciousness of the SIMBRE. The basic structures of consciousness programs for the ego and its personal experiences would be archived and processed in a manner equivalent to any memory card that connects with the operating system and other applications. In computers, when the operating system or any other file is uninstalled, its root program called BIOS is not uninstalled. The SIMBRE does not disappear after the biological death of the body, but the other three subminds do disappear. These subminds serve the molecular body and its nutrients in the form of quantum intelligence. They serve the cells, the organs, and systems of the body in the form of biological intelligence. And they serve the ego in psychological form. The ego SIMBRE system is reconstructed in the next biological cycle from the psychological and evolutionary genomes. B. The SIMBRE can take that control upon dissociating itself from the ego, unlike the spiritual subminds that direct and order the quantum and the biological, whose consciousness never take control of the lucidity of the consciousness screen. Spiritual intelligence calls this new state a higher state of consciousness, and it is a requirement to optimize transcendent decisions, trance in meditation, the sixth sense, and intuition. C. When SIMBRE takes command of lucidity of the mental screen, it reaches a state of consciousness superior to that of the ego. It transcends it. It is metaphorically equivalent to the SIMBRE taking the helm of the vehicle called the physical body. It keeps your mental connection in a healthy emotional balance with the ego itself, relegating it to the position of co-pilot to assist you in satisfying the basic needs of the body. Because the job of the ego is to maintain the body, to protect it, and to preserve it in health. D. When the consciousness of the ego does not have something to do or to be occupied during the hours of healthy vigil for reflection, meditation, and reprogramming, the SIMBRE must take the lucidity of the screen in the consciousness in order to dedicate itself to reflection and engage in important or transcendent activities. When the SIMBRE stops occupying the screen of lucidity of consciousness, the ego will be able to satisfy the healthy needs of obtaining ordinary resources and dedicate itself to maintenance, healing, and or balancing recreation. Thus, transcending the ego, the SIMBRE must also manage to deal with the transcendent, the extraordinary, which allows it to meta-entropically grow its capacity for consciousness, to know the truth better, feel love better, and do goodness better with truth and love. That is by practicing altruism as a perfectible evolutionary vector for SIMBRE, which is the wealth of the spiritual mind and lasts beyond physical death. F. We should achieve the habit of awakening the consciousness of the mind to transcend the ego every day in moments when it is necessary for all of us. And without any egoic context, put the mind in control of the screen of lucidity of consciousness, without blind spots or prejudices due to flawed defense mechanisms, to completely observe reality, to reflect and to analyze everything we think, ideas, knowledge, feelings, emotions, attitudes, decisions, the will to act. G. Using detachment to calm fears and sufferings of the ego, if any, by illuminating the mind with creativity and enthusiasm to do things better, without being dependent or without attachments that cause suffering. H. Also, every time the ego, while being in control of this lucidity of the screen, finds itself suffering, it is because it has lost the balance of inner peace, the harmony with itself, with life, or with others. SIMBRE must dissociate itself from the ego, take the helm of its life and say, I am not ego. I have an ego and I have a body, and I do not confuse what I have with what I am. Therefore, be clear that the consciousness of the ego is the one that suffers, not that of the SIMBRE. When you suffer, you lose, in whole or in part, your inner peace or harmony, and even your health.